it doesn't really make sense that we're still doing tall bikes. Like, it's almost really 20 years since we started making the art bikes. We made all sorts of different art bikes, like chopper bikes, spark bikes.
Oh yeah, we grew up riding art bikes. Like, probably the second bike I learned to ride was like a tall bike, you know.
We're going to check out the customization of bicycle situation. Let's take a look, Ben. Stretched front section with gas tank, slightly modified front. This one's super modified, head tube angle.
As soon as we figured out welding, we were teaching other people how to weld like the next weekend. And everyone was just having a go at it. We really wanted to put the tools in everybody's hands. People would be making bikes that obviously would not work. And so I started saying like, oh, it's like whoever can figure out how to ride it first. So even the worst bikes became a great thing because it was a great challenge to try to ride them.
We're like this small rural town in the middle of nowhere, and we've got like an art bike crew and tall bike crew like cruising the streets of this town, and it was super surreal.
And I definitely remember always looking up to the tall bike riders, because at that point there were maybe only like a couple half decent bikes, tall bikes. And I remember just being as a kid like, man, those bikes are so rad. Like, I remember being like, holy cow, you're like a real pilot or something up there.
Crazy.
Some of those bikes were so hard to ride back then too, so insanely sketchy. That made it more impressive when these, you know, when the older guys were riding them through downtown Toronto. But yeah, I remember looking up to the tall bike riders for sure.
It wasn't just like then tall bikes after that. It was like starting bands and putting on events and kids starting like different kinds of charities, and it really gave, I think, the group and individuals in the group a lot of confidence to keep pursuing different things, and they didn't have that mindset anymore, oh, we're just like some kids from a small town, we can't do anything. And I think that was really something that came about specifically through the art bikes and the tall bikes, and bringing them into the city and being like, hey, we can compete kind of with what anybody's doing anywhere. Doesn't matter where you're from.
It sounds like you guys grew up in like an alternate reality or something. Like, you had tools and you were building things. I'm just totally jealous. I love building things, and none of my friends were into building things. Nobody wanted to build anything. The people that represented trades for me were these really gnarly, haggard dudes, and a lot of them were like just disturbed wingnut type of dudes that nothing about them inspired me to consider working with tools. I would look at music and think, oh, music is my way out from using tools. And to tell you guys truthfully, like, I'm 32 years old. There's a coming of age story in my life with building and working with tools that's present day, like understanding things can be built, repurposed. Like, I'm learning that now. I didn't have a farm boy mentality that is, there's nothing that I can't do. And it's like, I've always thought there's everything I can't do. And so to realize in little ways, almost seeds being planted that, oh, I could do that. If you could build a bike, then I could build a bike. And sure, maybe I need to go back to the caveman times where I'm using a hacksaw and I don't know how to use a welder, which is currently where I'm at. And it is great to work and learn how to use a tool, but it's also great to work with you guys, because it's like, well, let's flip it upside down and see what's real and what's not real. I'm kind of coming alive right now, just considering the possibilities.
All right, send me
It's
off.
all yours. It's all yours.
Oh, shit.